You're never going to find a time in your life or in the world when everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be, when everything is exactly the way you want it to be, especially when you start looking at things from multiple angles. Even though everything might be cool the way you think it should be, as soon as you talk to five people, then you're going to start to hear varying perspectives and different values in play, and people are going to have different things to criticize about something you might consider ideal. But there is a concept in project management called the messy middle. At least that's where I was introduced to it. The messy middle is essentially that that moment or that period of time in your project where everything seems to fall apart. And I'll give you a simple example. If you're a teacher, you can relate to this real well. I used to do musicals with children, um, and we would rehearse for weeks at a time, and then we would rehearse, for a couple of days leading up to the actual show. And without fail, I'm gonna tell you, rehearsal with a bunch of 5, 6, 7, 8 year olds is a nightmare. It looks like a total disaster. If you were to walk in on a rehearsal, you would think this is definitely something you need to cancel. Um, but without fail, no matter how bad the rehearsals were the day before the show, when those children showed up on stage, they knew their part, they did their dances, they sang their songs, they did the costume changes, they knew everything, right? And so you cannot make a conclusion on how good something is ultimately going to turn out if you don't know the full cycle of that event or of that process. Okay? So I'm saying this because I don't want you to be over critical of yourself and doubtful of yourself when you're in the process of creating, when you're in the process of becoming, and you get to a point where things just don't look the way you think they should look, or things don't look the way other people think that they should look. What matters is that you keep your eyes on the prize. You continue to clarify your vision. You continue to double down on your goal. And you focus and you focus and you focus and you recommit hour by hour, day by day, week by week, month by month, until you see the results that you're really looking for. And all of the process that leads up to that is opportunity for you to reevaluate and to adjust. But don't quit. Don't stop just because things don't look the way you think that they should look, and just because other people are critical and nervous. Because let me tell you something. People who have never created anything, people who have never created anything are going to project all their fears and all their failures and all their insecurities onto you. When they see you go out and your tie isn't quite straight, and your shoes aren't tied, or they see you've made a left turn when you should have made a right turn, they're going to conclude that you're in for the same failure that they encountered, or that you should stop, at the same point that they stopped. It's just impossible. But that's their problem. It's not your problem. Okay? You keep your eyes on the prize. You double down on your goal. You recommit yourself to your own destiny and allow the prenatal choice that you made in heaven to define how well you're doing, how close you are, and what adjustments you need to make. Aboraboye, aboshishe.